episode of Our Not So Simple Lives podcast. And today we are talking about Evolution because we just watched the all-women's PLE for the WWE. And this is a historic event because this event has not happened since 2018. So it's been 7 years and it's an all-women's PLE, 7 women's matches. We are joined by a guest host too, my mother. And we were supposed to have Giovanna on, but she's too tired. So, but you'll hear from her on Monday. But yeah, so I want to talk about this event really quick, and then I want to talk about how cool it is for women to have an event like this, especially in sports and even in entertainment, because stuff like this really wasn't happening for women, you know, like a few years ago, even like I feel like 10 years ago as recently. I feel like sports and entertainment and wrestling has changed so much. But let's get into the events really quick. I mean, the ending was a little crazy.
Crazy.
But what was some of your favorite outfits? I feel like we have to talk about the fashion because that's one of the reasons why I really like women's wrestling is because of the outfits.
Mm-hmm.
So what were some of your favorite outfits from the night?
Man, like, I think you pay more attention to the outfits where I pay more attention to the matches.
Okay, well, we'll get into the matches.
But somebody that stood out to me that I can remember off the bat was Chelsea Green's outfit with the gold, with the iridescent, like, rainbow on there. I thought that was different and cool. Like, you don't really see too many people come out in gold. So I thought that was a cool outfit for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and she was one of the few that got an actual entrance that we saw.
Right,
so a lot of the other outfits in the Battle Royal, I was kind of like, I couldn't really see what they were wearing that much because, you know, the entrance really highlights the outfits.
Right.
But yeah, what were some of your favorite ones?
I liked that Tiffany Stratton was wearing red this time instead of pink, although pink does look very good on her. But I thought that her outfit was really good. I, of course, liked Trish Stratus's outfit. It was very form-fitting. She looks great. And, I mean, there was a couple of others. Like, I liked the tag team of Raquel and Roxanne, even though I do not like Roxanne. But their outfits in the purple with the stars, those are really nice outfits.
That was a good one.
Charlotte Flair actually had a good outfit too.
Oh, yeah,
and really Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss always shows up and shows out. I'm trying to remember. It's a bit of a blur right now with the outfits, but I think you highlighted the two I wanted to talk about. It was Tiffany and Trish. I think, and Charlotte. I think those were the ones that I really was like, oh, wow, like these outfits are really, really good. Like the other ones were good, but those were the ones that I feel like really stood out to me. I also really did like B-Fab's outfit. I thought she looked really good with the pink.
Well, but she's so tall that it really stood out.
Yeah, exactly. She stands out.
The pink with the red hair.
I was like pink with the red hair.
It was giving Valentine's Day, but I kind of liked it. I don't know. I liked Maxine's outfit too. I'm just kind of trying to see who else. I mean, it's like I said, it's a bit of a blur, but those were the main few that I wanted to talk about outfit wise. So, I mean, I feel like we should get into the matches a little bit. I mean, Naomi winning the Women's World Championship at the end was such a shocker.
It was a shocker. Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like for me, I was predicting all of the winners and the outcomes all night. Like, I got them all right, which is fine. Like, it's nothing bad about that, but it's nice to be surprised every once in a while.
I was like, you and I was like, I'm pretty sure Rhea's going to win. And your mom was really hoping Io Sky was going to get it.
Well, that match really shocked me. I mean, not that I know that they can put on a good match, but I feel like by that point, we're a little bit like burnt out. We're like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, let's just get through this main event. But then I was like, wow, this is actually really, really good.
Yeah, I was like, what a shocking twist.
It was like a Kevin Owens match. Remember how he used to go on like, the outside and jump off of the whatever, the equipment.
The equipment, I think that it was like 7 matches is kind of a lot for a PLE these days. I feel like they're a lot shorter. They're usually 5 matches.
And it was all women. And I mean, I don't watch wrestling as much as you guys do, but like, I don't think I've ever watched like an event like that with you where the whole entire event was all women. There was no men.
Did you like it? Did you like the event as a whole?
I did. Because I personally don't enjoy watching the men, and I think you agree as well. Sorry to the people that like the men's matches. Every once in a while, it depends on who's doing it.
It depends. I just feel like it's just cool because for the longest time it was mostly men's wrestling and there weren't a lot of women's matches, so it's really cool when they do these events. I mean, I'm hoping they don't wait another 7 years to do the next one,
right?
Because 7 years was a long time. But I guess we have to talk about Nikki Bella too. I mean, you're wearing her hats. She had a great outfit as usual, and just like she was having so much fun in there.
She was laughing. It was really,
and she was so cool. And the fans, the women's
love her.
wrestling fans are so passionate, and that's what was really cool is to see how loud they were and how there they were for all of the women, and they were making so much noise, and you could just tell they genuinely were so happy to be there. That's something that's lacking, I feel like, in wrestling today, where people can just go where they're just casual fans. They don't really cheer much. And part of wrestling is when the crowd gets into it, because then you're like, oh my God, it's a huge, it gets you more into it. Well, like when Naomi came out.
They showed out and showed up for that event. For sure.
Yeah, I loved the Battle Royal, and we were rooting for you, Nikki Bella. Woo!
We were rooting for Nikki Bella.
She made it a lot farther than I thought she would.
I did not think having Lash Legend eliminate her was a little bit of a shock, a bit of a twist, since she's in NXT. I mean, I know it was in Lash's hometown of Atlanta, but I don't know. I mean, I thought someone was going to eliminate Nikki that was going to actually start a storyline with her, because I know she's on like an extended run right now. But unless they're planning on calling Lash up to the main roster, that's always a possibility.
That would be good. Lash is doing so well.
I'm glad she got her moment. Lasting in the final two with Stephanie Vaquer, that was really, really cool. I don't know I'm trying to think of what my favorite match of the night was. Are any really standing out for you that you're like, that was my favorite match of the night? I'm trying to think.
I think like the two that stood out to me was the one between Becky and Trish, and then
Tiffany.
Or I'm sorry, yes, Tiffany.
You're still thinking about that steel cage match.
I am. I'm still thinking about that match.
That was a great match.
No, you're right. Tiffany and Trish. That was a good match. And then the very last one where Naomi ended up winning. I just like, to me, even like someone that doesn't watch this as much, I can kind of predict it too, like you do. Maybe not as good, but like sometimes I'm like, like I think maybe out of there I got maybe like 4 out of 6.
Yeah,
like
I think...
and like who I thought was gonna win. So I feel like that's a pretty good
that's
odds
really good,
for someone that doesn't watch that much. So
yeah.
I really like that last match. I think it really stimulated me, and then once that happened, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna win. And so it just was a really nice twist.
I am so happy that they didn't have Naomi fail her cash in.
Yeah,
I got really nervous because usually they don't cash in and make it a triple threat. It's usually just the one-on-one, the champion's down, and there's no way they're gonna win. But the fact that it was a triple threat, I was like, oh no, with Rhea and Io. But it changes things up because Naomi's on SmackDown and she won the Raw title. So you have to wonder if she's going to go over to Raw now. There's a bunch of that's up in the air now with that. So I thought, I did like the tag team match. I thought that match was good. The Fatal 4-Way tag.
That was good too.
It was really exciting and very fast paced, which I usually like matches like that. And I feel like we have to talk about JC Jane a little bit too, because that match was pretty good too for 10 NXT stars, and having Blake Monroe turn on Jordynne Grace was a twist as well.
Yeah, but everybody knew that Jordynne Grace was not going to win, so it was I mean, and actually, we were disagreeing all night, but there was 2 matches that we agreed that Jordan was not going to win, and then Becky Lynch was going to win.
Yeah.
And that actually was my favorite match because...
Becky?
Becky and Bayley and Lyra.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was a really, really good match because, just the way it ended, right?
Yeah.
With the finishing move that Becky overtook Bayley.
Oh, yes. I did like the
that
way
was a really creative
good.
Finish, and Becky was really... You have to be spot on with that in order to hit that.
Yes, and the 3 of them are really excellent wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really technically very good match. It wasn't too slow. It was good.
Yeah.
I thought that the Jade Cargill and Naomi match was a little slow.
Yeah, their match at WrestleMania was kind of slow also. And I didn't feel like Bianca didn't really do as much as I thought she would. I feel like the Jade and Naomi match was the weakest one of the night. But it still had some moments in there. I think all of the matches were good.
Yes.
There were none that were like, oh, this is bad.
Right.
You know, so that made me happy because going forward, you know, WWE is going to take into account, like, can the women deliver? And I feel like they really did deliver this night. And I feel like everyone really just showed up and showed out.
Yes.
From the entrances, the outfits, the matches. I feel like they just did an amazing job.
I was happy that Stephanie Vicaire won. But I was so rooting for Nikki Bella to win the whole thing.
I know. I mean,
I was like, we wanted Nikki Bella.
We really wanted Nikki. We were like, you were like, get her out. We were really rooting for her.
But once Stephanie won, then it was like, okay, yes, no, that was correct, and we love her too.
Yes, I think if I had to choose the match of the night, I would say Trish and Tiffany, even though it wasn't very long. I do feel like, but see the Naomi, I'm gonna agree with Delaney. That match or the main event, which is surprising because usually I don't gravitate towards singles matches. I usually like the multi-person matches more because they're more exciting, more fast-paced. But I think the nostalgic aspect of seeing Trish out there and that false finish of when she hit the Stratisfaction. And I thought for a minute, I was like, would they really give this to Trish? And then no, it didn't.
But they did give her a moment.
They did give her a moment.
So nice.
I was like, that was another one I called. I was like, Trish is not gonna win, but I love that she's in this match, and I like she's amazing when she's out there, even when she doesn't win. So I was like, it's gonna be a good match regardless. But like, again, I was like, yeah, she's not gonna win, but I'm excited to watch her. You know what I mean?
So she's just so good, and she's so good in the ring, and she just keeps getting better with age. I feel, you know, like I'm like, all right, hopefully Trish is gonna go to, and she just always just impresses me so much. So how do you feel like this event is good for women in general? Like, not even just talk about the wrestling aspect of it, but just for women as a whole, like seeing this event.
So something that I thought was really cool was the like little trailer like preview when they were showing all the women wrestling, but then they had the little girls playing with the action figures. I was like, I feel like that's new. Like, they haven't done something like that before, where like, you know, like I feel like Eric, when you were younger, like you were the one like into the women wrestlers and stuff, where I feel like a lot of women don't gravitate towards like wrestling like violence, because it's just like it seems more of like a man sport. But people don't realize everything that goes into women's wrestling, all the things, like they got like their sparkly like glittery gear, and then they get their nails done, they get their hair done, they do their makeup, like full glam. And I'm watching them like, I don't know how they wrestle like that, but they pull it off. And I feel like if girls, like women, really like paid attention to all of that, they'd be like, oh wow, that might be something I would want to do like one day, like if I practiced. And it was cool to show the little girls like playing with that, because to be honest, like I've never seen any little girls play with wrestling action figures that are women.
You know what I mean? A little girl who has an action figure.
Yes, we do.
Courtesy of me, though. So I mean, does it really count? Yes, but we'll see how she gets older if she plays with
I
it.
really appreciated that trailer, because I was like, oh, that's nice to show that like representation. You know,
it did give me chills to like Katy Perry's song "Rise." It was really cool.
That I agree with you. That was really,
and
really
I want to talk about that because you have to credit, because there's a lot of fans who discredit the Bella Twins a lot, Nikki and Brie, and say that like, oh, they're not wrestlers, or just, you know, models, or it just all this hate towards the Bella Twins. But Nikki has been training so hard for this comeback, and she just looked amazing in the ring today.
Really good.
And the reason why there was so much women involved in wrestling now, and even like LGBTQ plus fans, is because of Total Divas and Total Bellas, because they've got into it on the E Network.
Right.
And they turn it on and they're like, what is this wrestling thing? This is female wrestling? What? Exactly. So that really sparked that revolution back in, I think, 2014, 2013, when Total Divas came out. And the first episode was the women's match getting cut at WrestleMania.
Oh.
So where Nikki and Brie were supposed to team with two guys against Naomi and Cameron and other two guys. at WrestleMania, the only women's match on the card. So it was mixed gender, men and women. And their match got cut. And that was the first episode of Total Divas.
Wow.
And just seeing now, 12, 11 years later, that we have an all women's PLE, the second time in history, it's just a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there was so much online backlash of like the people that were watching Total Divas would turn into Raw and they'd be like, why are the women getting like 5 minutes of a 2-hour, 3-hour show, you know?
Right. Well, so. I think that that it's come of age. Like, for instance, they used to get a different clientele of like Stacy Keibler was a cheerleader, and then there was other people that they didn't expect that they were going to be able to wrestle because they only had the 3 minutes. But now you got a former professional basketball player. Jordan Grace was in
TNA. She was in, yeah.
And then Lola Vice.
MMA background.
And then soccer players and
like Jada Parker.
Yep, gymnasts, and we have a couple of gymnasts.
Yep.
Kaylani Jordan,
Tiffany
Stratton. And so I think that they are what's the word? You know, but I mean, they're attracting. Yeah. They're attracting really physical women that are really good at their sports. And it doesn't make a difference. It could be field hockey, you know, because it's something that has endurance. But, you know, you can see, you know, you need to really move well if you're a soccer player or a basketball player. You definitely need to have skills if you're a gymnast. And so I think that the evolution is that they are attracting these really talented women from other sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be athletic to some capacity to even go into this sport, if you will. Because it's like, I feel like that's not something you can just jump into without any type of athletic background.
Well, and I think it's also a telltale sign that you can't put women in a box. I feel like nobody really puts men in a box, and for a long time women were getting put in a box.
Yeah, like you can't do that.
You can't do that or whatever. But even like Trish Stratus, not coming from a wrestling background or even like a sports background, she was a fitness model.
Yeah.
It just goes to show there's that stigma of like, oh, you're a model, you can't wrestle.
But
you can't do this. But it's like if you put your mind to something and you train and you work hard, even Tori Wilson, I know she didn't wrestle tonight, but she was just a fitness model, and she's been a couple Royal Rumbles, and she trained, and she was showing that, you know, just because I have this model, you know, moniker attached to me doesn't mean that I can't go in the ring.
But Trish,
you know?
She does yoga, and she's kept up. But for her to get into the ring with Tiffany Stratton, you know, with that physicality and the fast paced, that was the other thing that Delaney and I were talking about how the women's matches are so much more fast paced with more moves than the men. The men are just you know, I mean, it's a good story, you know, but
the men like to draw out the crowd and really just like take their time, and then they're resting on the outside, and then they taunt and you know, and it's fine, but that's personally not my style that I enjoy. I like the fast pace. I like the outfits. I like the hair and makeup. Like I like the over the top characters. Yeah. And I like when the moves are really, really exciting. And I just feel like it's great for women that are growing up. I mean, now having a granddaughter for you, and I'm an uncle and a godfather. I feel like it's cool that now that they can look at strong women on a broader scale.
Right.
And not have to be like, oh, well, women have to be this certain type of way. And it happens for men too. But just talking about the topic of women, I feel like there, like I said, was that stigma of like putting women into a box. Like if you're a model, that's it. You could just model. Or if you're a bodybuilder, you could just do bodybuilder. Like, what are you? You have to have a label attached to you. And this just goes to show there are so many women from different backgrounds competing, you know.
Well, and that was the thing about the Bella Twins. They were soccer players.
Yeah, they had a sports background, but the reason why they had that negative stigma attached to them was because they came in from Diva Search.
Right, and they were Hooters waitresses.
Hooters waitresses in Mission Valley,
Mission
San Diego.
Valley.
I've actually gone to eat that location before. They should have like a plaque of them in there. I don't know why they don't.
Yeah, or maybe a picture.
A picture or something, you know, that's so cool.
Well, it's just goes to show you that, you know, my granddaughter, your niece, any young women that you know.
Yeah. I know a lot of young women.
Yeah.
They have, the world is their oyster. They can do whatever they want to do.
And that's the important thing about having representation, I think, is showing that people of all different colors, people of all different backgrounds, no matter, you know, who you love, whatever, you can do whatever you want. I think that's what the importance of having diversity is. And I mean, you see, like, even from different countries, you know, Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, there's so many people that are come over, Becky Lynch and Lyra, Rhea, you know, the main event was people from 3 different countries, if you want to count Naomi from America, you know?
Right.
It's just so awesome that there's so much opportunity out there now. And I don't know if it comes from social media or if they're able to see these people more because of social media, but
maybe
I think it's great that this was a success. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're recording this, to be honest, right after the event ended, which is why my voice is a little bit raspy right now. But I'm pretty sure, based on the feedback I was seeing online, that everybody really enjoyed this event.
Yep.
Well, you can tell the crowd was enjoying the event.
Yes,
I'm
way into it.
I think mentioned it a few times, but the crowd was very loud. And I feel like it's not normally that loud.
No,
Like,
that's what I was saying. Yeah. And you have to thank Nikki Bella for that, honestly, because she was doing so much press for this event. She was on like the Today Show. She was in New York City doing all these different shows and talking about evolution. It just shows how selfless Nikki Bella is, because she didn't even win her match.
Yeah.
So she's doing this because she wants women's wrestling to succeed.
Yes.
So she went, you know, took time away from her family, went across the country from California to New York to do all this press, train in the ring, and then go compete at Evolution to lose her match.
Yeah.
It just shows that, you know, people are just wrong about the Bella twins. They're wrong about Nikki Bella, because she genuinely wants the WWE women's division to succeed.
She does.
And after she did all of her press, they sold 4,000 more tickets.
Oh, wow.
After Nikki was doing her press tour.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki.
Exactly. Yes. And I mean, other people were doing press too. I think Jade Cargill was doing a bit. I mean, there were other people there, but you know, Nikki Bella has just a huge following.
Yes. Oh, and Trish Stratus, I'm sure. Does
and Trish Stratus, I'm sure,
she
like
lives
was
in
doing
Canada.
Yeah. So what do you want to see from the women's division going forward now? Now that Evolution is done, is there anything that you're like, okay, well, I want to see women do this, or I want to see this event happen like yearly? Is there anything that you kind of are taking away from this event?
I hope they do more like all women events like that. I mean, obviously not all the time, because, you know, that can get a little sexist.
Yeah, and it takes the specialness away.
I feel like it just gratified the whole event. Like when you said, I didn't even know it was an all women's event until I came over. You were like, oh yeah, it's all women. I was like, no way. So I was even more excited to watch it, because I mean, sorry to the people who are probably mad that we don't watch the men's matches, but even in like regular events, like maybe not the big events, but like maybe if we're just watching like an episode, we always fast forward through the men's. So I just felt like it was really fun to watch all of them, and they were all really good matches. Like I wasn't like, you know, we need to fast forward this, not that we could have, but you know, it's not like oh, like we could skip that one, like it's not really that good, you know, like all of them were so good, where like normally I couldn't say that in a regular event with everybody, if that makes sense. So I would love to see more all women events like that.
I think if they do it like once every maybe 3-4 years, that would be good, because you're right. If they did it yearly, I mean, I would be here for the yearly thing.
I was going to say yearly. I would totally be about that.
I would be about the yearly thing, but I'm wondering if like the fans would go as hard for that, because there's a lot of people that like flew in for this event, particularly. I wonder if
so many celebrities, so many like legends.
Yeah,
that
so
were
many
there.
legends, and I just, I mean, I feel like we could do this yearly and then see what happens. You know, I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I really think I'm excited to read online what people are saying, because, like I said, there was not a single miss because of I think it's because of the crowd involvement. I know I keep saying it, but because of the crowd was loud.
They were very loud.
It makes the event feel more special.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll admit when we go, we're not the biggest chanting, but I think on an all women's event, I would feel more comfortable chanting because you know there's like other LGBTQ plus people around you where like I just went to Raw like a couple months ago with two of my friends and it was when Naomi was a face, so like a good guy. And I was like dancing with her and everything and like no one else around me was. And so I was just like, oh, okay. Like, but they were cheering for the guys, you know? So I was just like, okay, maybe like people aren't like super into this as I would. But I know if I went to an all women's event,
oh, they definitely would.
Everybody around me would be dancing and like cheering for Naomi with her old theme music. But yeah, so I think, I mean, if they do this next year, I kind of want to try and go.
I feel like the like just looking at the results, looking at, you know, who came out, looking at the crowd and how loud they were, it's just showing the results of like how successful this could be in the future. So it's like you kind of just have to let that show for itself. I feel like, you know. And
Survivor Series is in San Diego this year in Petco. So we're gonna be getting tickets for that because I'm really interested to see how they're gonna do that at Petco Park.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be the cage. So they're gonna have the cage up, the two cages, the War Games cages, and you know they're gonna do some meet and greets and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna be wanting to go to that event. So I'm excited for that.
Next, I would like to see Lash Legend be elevated to the main roster because she's doing really well. I'd like to have Brie come, you know, for a few.
There we go. Yeah, Brie. Apparently, Brie's waiting for the call.
Yeah. Okay. So we can have Brie make the call.
Or no, Triple H needs to make the call to Brie.
Triple H, please make the call to Brie.
You know,
and then I mean NXT's been doing really well, so I'd like to have them continue to develop that. I'd like to see JC have a longer run. Maybe not as long as Mandy, but you know, because you know, again, I think that you know it was really nice of them to you know give that to JC Jane. She really worked hard and she deserved it. And
she was always known as like the third wheel of Toxic Attraction, so it was really cool to see JC Jane get into this role.
I was like, and I know we've been talking about it forever, but maybe bring back Mandy.
Bring back Mandy. I think it'd be really cool to have Mandy come back and do like a little like... I know that's
probably controversial, but I feel like I didn't pay attention to NXT until Toxic Attraction happened. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because they just have that aura, and I feel like Fatal Influence is definitely a bit of a knockoff of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think that once JC Jane does lose the NXT Women's Championship, I think calling that group up to the main roster would be really cool and really cements.
At least two of them.
Well, I think you have to have Jasmine. I mean, you know, there's some people times you call people that are a little bit less experienced in the main roster. Like, I mean, you look at Maxine and B-Fab. They're not the most experienced, but they still learn and they're able to carry their own weight. And I feel like that would be Jasmine. I think it'd be weird if they did just a trio, unless they're going to have Kiana James come in and take Jasmine out and take her spot. Because I know she's waiting. Yes. She was on the poster, but she didn't return. So we'll have to see what happens.
Well, I'm looking forward to Kiana James too. I like her too.
I know. So like I said, this event was really cool. I'm glad that we got to experience it. I'm glad we got to all like be together to watch it because it was a lot of matches. 7 matches was a lot.
It was a lot. But
it didn't feel like the event was 3.5 hours. It didn't really feel like that. I feel like it went by kind of quick.
Yeah.
But since we are a San Diego podcast and since you're our guest host for today, even though it really wasn't about your story or anything about
it was about
you were just
wrestling.
You were just, you know, part of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's your wrestling knowledge.
Yes.
We needed for the wrestling knowledge, like I said, like we needed to like have you in here because it just, you know.
And yes, and I wanted to root for Nikki, so yes. Okay.
Exactly. So hopefully Nikki wins a title or Brie comes back and they win the tag titles from Raquel and Roxanne.
Maybe that comes to San Diego when you know Survivor Series is here.
Fingers crossed that they're gonna have the run go to Survivor Series so I can meet Nikki again because meeting her twice was really cool.
Yes, thank you.
But
thank you, Nikki.
What is one of your favorite places to go in San Diego?
Oh,
so like if it has to be a restaurant or
you already
know. Okay, I think I know what it is actually.
Yes, Cabrillo National Monument.
Oh, I thought you were going to see the Hotel Del.
Oh no, I love that too. But no, no, Cabrillo National Park, that is my favorite place in all of San Diego. It's very peaceful. You get to look out on a clear day. You can see all the way up to the mountains. And you can see our house or Mount Helix from there. But yes, the Hotel Del is a very close second.
And
that's the reason why I am here in San Diego, because he knows the story. When I was 19 years old, I came with my parents because my brother used to live up in Los Angeles. And we came down here to San Diego just for a little jaunt. And my father drove past the Hotel Del, and I was like, what is that? And I mean, I was hooked. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place.
I mean, it's hard not to be hooked after looking at the Hotel Del.
Yeah.
Just even being in Coronado. I agree, because the first time I went there, I was like, that's a done deal.
Yeah.
Well, and even when the very first time I came here was, I don't know, when I was in high school. I went on a really big family trip. My grandparents, 50th anniversary, they rented this huge house in Fallbrook.
Oh,
and that was
way up there.
Yeah. It was like the huge mansion up on a hill, and because there was I don't know, four families staying in this house. It was huge. You get lost in it.
Yeah.
And so the first time I ever went, I was we were all kind of cracking joke, me with the adults and stuff. We're like, oh, let's just all pitch in, and we can all just rent a house here, and we can share times to come. But I was so serious. Me, I was standing on business because I was I want to live here. And I'm the only one that came out of everyone.
Wow.
So I was I told you I'm going to
Wait, and how old were you when that happened?
Gosh, I was probably maybe 16.
Okay.
15, 16.
So, I mean, they're around the same time, not around the same time,
the very
but
first
in your lives.
The very first time I ever even been to California. Was the first time I ever been to California was in San Diego. Isn't that weird?
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Because most people go to LA or San Francisco.
Because I hadn't even moved. Well, okay, the trip was to go to San Diego, but I think we did start in LA, and then we stayed there, I think, for a day or two, and then we went to San Diego because that was the trip as a whole. But I guess I technically went to Anaheim, not Los Angeles.
That's right.
Orange County.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of which, this is a little off topic, sorry, but the Getty Museum has opened again. So Eric and I will be going to the Getty.
Is that the one that burned in the fire?
No, it was gonna burn, and I was talking to my brother Michael, and I was like, I was verklempt because I'm like, the Getty's gonna burn because it has all these artifacts. I mean, it's a beautiful. You got to go too. Yeah. It's a beautiful museum up
Group
on
trip.
the hill.
Family trip.
Family trip. Maybe 1 year for Christmas.
Yes, but I learned then afterwards that they have the artifacts are in sealed rooms, and if there's a fire or something that threatens, something happens to the room where they protect the artifacts. But that wouldn't have been if the whole hill burned.
Yeah.
And it was right in the fire area, but it got saved. Thank God.
Well, it's so interesting. Well, this was an amazing episode talking about women's wrestling and evolution, and like I said, fingers crossed that they do another one, like you said, Lainey, next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying once every 3 years, but you're like next year, and I was like, you know what? I'm down. I'm down.
I feel like that's the least they could do.
One a year.
I feel like it just had really positive, really great results.
Yeah.
As selling tickets, they probably had a lot of viewers. I feel like it just did better than other shows I've seen.
Yeah, and I'm really, like I said, excited to see what Naomi does with the title win. Like, I was screaming when she was like, what the fuck? And then I'm excited to see what Nikki Bella does too, of course, because I know we talked about Nikki Bella. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I know you're not on social media, so we're not even going to plug your socials. But you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Our Not So Simple Lives Pod.
I follow yous.
Do you follow us on YouTube?
Yes, and I follow you, and I like the stuff, and I comment sometimes.
There we go. We need the engagement. We need the engagement to push our stuff forward.
Yes,
so we'll see. Well, this was an amazing episode. Thank you for joining us in this episode to talk about
most welcome.
Evolution. And like I said, we'll talk more women's wrestling when we go to Survivor Series.
Yeah.